It's a brother
and a sister.
It's a brother and a sister.
Brother and a sister. Yo, brother. Yo, sister.
Yo, brother. Remember the rest?
Independent demeanor of an R&B singer. Naked ring finger. Champagne. I forget it. But it was a great song.
And T.I.'s line.
Don't you want to just over here?
Is that safe?
Like,
what?
You always pick the most difficult option instead of just involving me.
What would you have done?
Put it on the floor. Because my arms are long.
Yeah, but we can see that in the shot. You can see that in the shot.
You can't see that in the shot.
I've seen your stuff on the shot, your keys in the shot.
Can you see that thing over there in the shot?
Now I can't because I can't see the shot. Hello and a warm welcome to a brother and a side-eyeing sister podcast. I'm sorry. I feel like I've made you side-eye me the whole morning.
I woke up this morning and as we do our normal morning routine. And when I got into your room just to check up on you, and I was like, "Are you ready?" And you just showed me your nails, and I was just like,
I heard that, and I felt touched. Like, do you think I'm not going to be ready on time?
It's not that. It was just like a, damn, the way how I'm out here. Like, I think you know what it is. You know when you're already in panic mode, like you're like already moving quickly, and then you see the other person is chilling, or like just they're moving at a nice calm pace. Then you're just like, let me actually just relax myself before, because I don't want to rev you up as well, because I just had a bunch of projects this morning, first thing in the morning. You have a little glitter on you.
I know. I have this new glitter product that you put under your makeup. And it looks like I either went to a strip club or a circus yesterday. I can't get the glitter. It's like you're going to see glitter every ankle of me. So I've just decided to make that my thing. Glitter ball.
At least you're shining and you're not dirty.
Nah.
If it was like a mad thing.
You're shine.
Yeah, no. Good.
One Chinese.
How was your week? How's your weekend?
I don't even know the difference between those things anymore because it's just a continuous hum of things to do. It's been busy. It's been so crazy busy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say there are a lot of really fantastic changes that have been happening.
Okay.
And I think I've said that maybe 2 or 3 episodes about that. But what I really realized when I had some silence for a little bit, I think I might have been driving. I realized that at every step of my life, the change that became a huge, phenomenal, life-changing moment started internally.
Okay.
So it didn't start with, there's the dream. It started with, but who do I want to be? How do I want to feel? What can I learn? What more can I do? Do I even need to do that? Whose dream is that? Everyone's going in this direction. Do I really also want to go in that direction? Do I want to? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like, hell no. And so I had a bit of silence and I went through that with myself.
Okay.
And the beautiful thing about having life experience is that you can also lean back on your own life experience.
Yeah.
So I know when I was leaving school that's how it came to be, that I knew what I wanted to do career-wise after school, because it started with me. I was like, how do I want to feel? Some of it was ridiculous. Like, that revenge of, they will see me on posters. Ha 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 ha, you'll never get rid of me now. And that kind of nonsense. But I knew that I wanted to be in certain spaces, do certain things, check off certain boxes. And that was for me. And I think recently I've been looking at things as they should be for a person my age, for a person my race, for a person who's been through what I've been through. And actually, it's not. It's what do I want? Like, what am I about now?
Okay.
What do I want to do? How do I want to feel every day? What do I want to eat? Where do I want to sit?
Mm-hmm.
Where do I want to sit? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's small things like that, and which are actually huge things. Because you walk into your home and it's your home. Like, I know why those seats are there. I know my plan for the garden. I know what I want my kitchen. Like, I know how I want my home to feel.
Yeah.
And I've got that now. And next level is like, okay, what else do I want to experience? Who do I want to be around every day? I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know if that makes sense to you, or if you're currently in that space. So you're like, yeah, that's how it works.
Right now, I think maybe because my life has been, I've had a lucky life in the sense that things outside of me usually just end up going well. So
You're welcome.
appreciate you. Appreciate you, son. Okay, cool. But like there's levels of like right now, I know there's a lot of like, I don't want to say trials and tribulations. It's just there's a lot more expenses than I've ever had than usual. And there's a part of me that's like, damn, I do not know how I'm gonna get out of this financial predicament and
Yeah.
situation. But then it's weird because then like opportunities keep on hitting me up. And I'm like there's more castings that I've been going to lately,
I
for
love it.
example. And the castings that I've been going to, some of them feel like I got them in the bag. And normally when I go to a casting, I'm at least like somewhat shortlisted, where they're like, whatever number you have. So let's say I'm number 400. They'll say number 399, number 398, and number 400. You guys sit down, and
For
everyone
round two.
for round two, the
Yeah.
rest of you guys can go.
Yeah.
So I'm usually one of the ones that they're like, you can stay,
Okay.
and the rest of you guys can go. I don't get the parts because the other two guys, I
But
guess.
you make it to the callback.
Yes.
Essentially.
This week was the first week I've ever been told, like, fuck out of here. I've never been a fuck out of here kind of guy. But when they said fuck out of here, that's what I heard. They probably said, please, can you guys, they probably said, but all I heard was, I hate you for tag.
Wow.
So when they said, I hate you for tag to me, I was like, huh, what? Ain't no way this is happening. And it was weird because also that casting, every nigga and they niggas, everyone was there. Like every black man was there that I've known in the industry or around the industry that is ages of 18 to 25.
Models.
But just people that want to be in show business and
Okay.
TV spaces. Like there was people that I was seeing from like Smoking Mirrors, like that were there, like
Yes.
those ETV shows.
Yes,
And I
yes.
was just like, yo, how am I gonna compete with all of this? But yeah, it was dope. Because then when I was leaving, as sad as I wasn't sad that I didn't get the thing. I don't like really take that to my chest. But it was like, okay, I just took a L. And then you also see like all of these extremely hot niggas that have gotten cast on Generations and all of these big things also getting kicked out. And they're all
Yeah.
just like, you win some, you lose some. Hey,
Yeah.
sometimes you get it, sometimes, and we're just chopping it out, making jokes. And it was very like nice to just be like, okay, there's other things. Because
Yes.
if they're also taking it like that, where it's like they took it to the chin and then it's the next thing. What can the next casting. But so I guess to relate to the story that you're saying, there's a level of like trying not to take the world personally and just figuring out what can I do with myself. Because the one thing I just kept thinking is I should have gotten a haircut. I should have just gotten my haircut.
You think so?
Hmm.
Can you mention the product? Not specifically, but like what genre was the product in?
It's a dating website.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like, yeah.
That's so interesting. I wonder what the ad's gonna be.
Yeah, me too. Because the way how the things I saw in the brief
Yeah.
versus some of the people that came. I'm like, you're not unique. you,
I wonder
you're
what that ad's gonna
like it
be.
was like
Like,
the specs of what it said on that ad versus what the things that I see. Even when they said the people that can sit down or the people that can stay and then the ones that can leave, I was like, the way I wanted to go, what, what rubbish is this? Where'd you find these
what
guys?
is this?
Because he has cornrows. He's nothing. Oh my god, my talent is wasted here.
But you can never let it get
Nah,
into you.
is it?
Ever, ever, ever. Otherwise, you won't do anything.
No,
So
no,
I'm
no.
glad that you have that
And
vibe.
and of course, like I don't take it personally. Actually, not. I took all my frustration out on the basketball court this weekend.
That's nice.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
You did your 10K run
uh
this
8.
weekend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
did a 8K on Saturday, and then I played like 4 hours of
Look
basketball
at
on
this
Sunday.
fitness.
Yeah, I know, but that's because I just need an excuse to not go to gym sometimes. So I was like, nah, I'll go hard on the courts, and I did because
Mm.
there was people that I brought that I needed to impress, and they weren't impressed enough.
Yeah, but
But
they can sometimes be haters.
yeah, so it was one of those things where it was one of those things where like I was like, so do you have this thing called game 7, up till game 7, which just means you must get 7 points in the game as your team.
Okay, got you.
I got 5 off the points in
But in
most of them.
basketball, if you score from far, it's 3. If you
It's-
score from the left, it's 2. If you score from
No, no, no,
upstairs,
no.
it's
You're
half
making
past
you're
2.
making up extra steps. Far, it's 3. Close, it's 2. That's it.
Yeah,
But
I don't games like that.
when you're playing half court, and you watch rugby,
I love rugby.
yeah. So then you complaining about the score.
Do you think I'm watching rugby for the score?
Okay, what do we need to talk about this week in terms of
Okay, wait. So game 7. So you get 7 in one game.
Yeah, 7 points. You need to get 7 points in one game.
Okay.
But because we're only playing half of the court, the points are only half of the points.
So
So
you
3
must
points.
get 3.5.
So
Please help me.
so a thing that would have cost 3 points is now 2, and now a thing that was 2 points is now 1.
Oh, I see. So the whole
Game, yeah.
scoring changes.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
I was doing things that I didn't know I can do, and I think it's purely because the people I invited onto the court. I can't shoot. I can't shoot from far. I can't shoot from far at all. So I literally was like, I was dribbling, and there was a point where I was like, I literally told everyone because they've seen me play. I was like, guys, isn't it I can't shoot threes? And everyone said yes in unison. And then I shot a 3 and it went in, and everyone was like, and I literally looked at the person
Yeah.
that like I brought so
Yeah.
that they could watch me, and then they were like,
Ah,
like, you
that's
know,
too funny.
the
That's
devil-
too
it
funny.
be your own
I think
people.
nieces are easier than nephews.
Nephews, yeah.
Because my nieces, I wouldn't say they're like enamored, but it's exciting being an auntie,
Mhm.
right? Like they're going to auntie's house, and then auntie's house has different things, and they can play in my wardrobe, and they can play with my makeup. I think it might be a little bit easier. But boy children, high expectations.
You know what it also is? It's the fact that like there's always a level of I can do that.
Yes.
And because right after I had a break from the games, first thing he was like, let's go. Can I play? Can I play? Let me play. And then I set up 2 other guys to come play with us.
Okay.
And of course he won. We made sure he won. But like he was just like, told you, Nick. Told you, son. I ain't playing these.
But he's
games.
very, very athletic as
Yes.
well. So there's that competitive, like, yeah, this is basketball. Oh, you should have told me there was something challenging here to do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
no.
That's very cute.
But it hyped me up for the rest of like my month. Like I love that game. I was playing to the point where there was a point where I was like, maybe I should go pro. Maybe it's time. I'm better than everyone. And I forgot how much better I
I
am.
can't believe
I
it.
even said
That's incredible.
I sent a voice note to the group chat even, and there was one guy that has been playing basketball for the past. So a lot of the guys in the group stopped playing basketball after high school, and there's one that has been playing. And I literally just like put it in the group, and I was like, bro, I'm better than you, and I want you to know I'm better than you. And I'm saying this on the group so that everyone holds me accountable when I kick your ass. I am better than you. I have no reason to be this cocky.
Wow.
But I need, like,
Did he respond?
of course.
What did he
He's
say?
like, why am I getting all the smoke, bro? He's
Oh.
like, yo, any day of the week, I'll come at you. And I was like, okay.
I want to promote this and sell tickets.
It's not going to be very impressive.
Are you just going to be shooting threes?
No, I can't shoot threes. That three was God trying to help me impress my nephew.
Okay.
That's it. That wasn't my three.
We could still make money off of ticket sales.
I doubt it.
You just think about it.
I appreciate your belief in me.
I will always believe in you.
But like, beyond the fact that I should probably go pro in basketball, I don't have actual basketball skills like that.
Really?
Nah.
But you're in your basketball team at school.
I know, but we weren't amazing.
Okay, wait. I understand. Someone's gonna say school basketball is not the same as the NBA, baby. I get it.
Do you know what it is? It's one of those things where it's like it's like a big fish in a small pond type situation.
Of course.
So in your league, you thinking you're great, and then you find out you're actually in the C league, and then like you're the best player in the C league, and then you move to B league and you're struggling. So never mind A and going pro, you're already struggling just in the B league. So the people that I was competing against did also make me feel great because I was one of the tallest there, and it was a bunch of other factors. I found out I can dunk as well.
That's exciting.
Which is nice. So yeah, I should be humble. I can't. I don't know why. I'm the son of Nana Muloy and the brother of Babi Muloy. So
I'm humble.
Okay.
I said,
if you say so.
I'm not competitive and I'm humble.
Fiction.
Because just being in the room, I have already won. Which doesn't mean that I have beaten you. It means I understand where I come from.
I say if you had like athletic ability in like the courts and
you
soccer.
You see, I have no athletic ability. Continue.
It's just, you know what it is? It's when I see you kick a soccer ball and I see like the top part of you move more than the bottom part of you, because you're supposed to kick it, but then your shoulders and your arms and everything, like
I have no athletic ability.
But I know if you did like heavy,
yeah,
I don't think I'd ever hit you.
No, you'd all be crying every day.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I told the story about when Granny came to watch me play with netball at school. I tell it everywhere. So Granny came to watch. I don't know what kind of contest or tournament or whatever it was, and I think I might have even been in high school. No, it was primary school. And I played and she watched and afterwards she just took my hand gently and she pulled me close to her and she said, you know, Babalolo, everybody has their unique talents. This one is not yours. Like,
shout out to Granny.
Yeah, Mona.
And you know she knows because she used to play basketball. She used to be in sports. She used to play center, the same position I play.
Basketball. I thought she played softball.
Maybe also that, but
I don't even know what that is.
Her and I were talking about how she used to play basketball, and the whole time when we were talking about it, I'm like, "Are you sure it wasn't netball? Because in apartheid, did they have the basketball?" And she was just like, "Hey."
Did you ask her that straight? Because she'd tell you.
Yeah, I did, and she was just very like, "No, it was basketball," and then she started telling me basketball rules, and I was like, "Damn." She's like, "Yeah, I used to play with Jordan back in my day." LeBron, who? Granny. They didn't say Kobe.
I love
Granny.
Granny. You know, Granny was a total tomboy.
1000%.
Yeah, Granny had no intention whatsoever of having a boyfriend, meeting a man, making children. She was just like, ew. And it was because she had mostly guy friends.
Yeah.
And she could hear what men said about women. And she was like, that shall not be my life.
Can't let that happen.
And then, like, I don't know what he had. Just the sax with the hat. and the suit and the walk and the baritone voice and melted her.
Granddaddy was a charmer.
Yo.
Grandmommy was a kitchen girl.
No, she wasn't. She wanted to study accounting.
Is it?
She's like on that level. She was like going to be an accountant, and that was it. That was going to be her life. And then she became, and thank God she became the parents to these people who we call parents. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. You'd just be watching just all this.
Things ain't never gonna be the same. My granddaddy had game, and my granny ain't got no shame.
Lakers in 5.
Granny in 5. Granny in 5, because she had 5 kids.
She did.
Yes, she was.
So South Africa is a movie, and if we were not the direct victims of this movie, it would be fascinating to watch. Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, our Minister of Mineral, Petroleum Resources and Petroleum Resources, right?
Like Vaseline.
Maybe. But it has to be because every black child, Vaseline was involved. So Gwede Mantashe is his name. And with huge humility and respect to anybody who's older, because I just am that kind of person. He had a scandal.
Okay.
So somewhere in the health system, in the SETA, the Sector of Education and Training Authority. Did I say health?
Yeah, you said in the sector.
Okay, but it's education and training, right?
Okay.
Then they have a board.
Okay.
Obviously, the board makes decisions and can spend the money and whatever. And one of his children was kind of suspiciously on the board.
Okay.
And so, I mean, there was a lot that happened. The EFF came into play and they were questioning why this person is on there. And there was a political favoritism conversation. There was what's the thing where you put your brothers and sisters in? Nepotism conversation, etc. and so forth, right? So he's Buyambo Mantashe, right? Buyambo.
These names. Okay.
So now, because Khabani, to lots of people, is very, what's happening?
I mean, technically.
And my very good friend last night was scared to say my full name because she was like, what if I get it wrong? What if I say Babala? Yeah, Babala. So, our names are our names. Anyway, so I purchased my newspaper like I always do before I go to work. Front page, scandal. And then I put on X.
Okay.
The platform X.
Yeah.
And the Parliament X platform says, guess who's y'all's president until Ramaphosa comes back from what he's doing overseas? It's the big G.
Gwede
Mantashe.
I feel like there's a rap song about Gwede.
Okay.
I don't know. No, it's just, that sounds like a song that should be in a rap song.
Gwede
Mantashe? Like something like that.
Aren't you thinking of Tijo Mboweni?
That's what I was also thinking about. But Gwede, I feel like there's a rap for Gwede. But
anyway, so I just thought it was really fascinating that on this one side, there's a whole lot of scandal that you are tangentially connected to. Because I don't know if he signed the papers to get his son into the thing. I don't know if it's that kind of thing. But you and everyone has a price. We've talked about this before.
1000%.
But if you have certain powers, you're going to help your kids do certain things.
For sure.
Like in America, I don't know if you remember, there were the 2 TV moms, 2 actresses. The one was on Desperate Housewives. The other one was on Full House. And they paid off like $500,000 for each of their kids to get into an Ivy League university. There was a guy who was running a whole scam about it. So you know who you know, your community is small, people have opportunities, But I just thought it was so fascinating. In the middle of this scandalous scandal, you are
becoming the president.
Our stand-in president, acting president. So anything can happen in South Africa. I'm just telling you, anything can happen in South Africa. Because one would also say, like, wouldn't you go, I am in the middle of a scandal at the moment.
Oh, like.
Perhaps I should step back until things are clean enough.
But when are you gonna be president again? Shame. So Julius Malema was like the deputy president for a bit, right?
No.
Was he never the deputy president?
No.
When Jacob Zuma was in charge?
Maybe of the youth league. He was the president of the youth league.
No, so he was never. Oh, damn. Okay, no, never mind.
No.
Because I was gonna say all that time when Jacob was president, he never had took a day off so that Jacob could just have 24 hours to just
I think it was either Mbeki or Zuma, but one of them took some time off, and then the head of the Inkatha freedom fighter, Ndati Buthelezi, took over as president of the country, acting president, and he immediately went to wage war against Lesotho.
Against Lesotho.
Yeah, let me check the facts here. Buthelezi. Yeah.
You got 24 hours to be president. What do you want? What do you want to do? I want those blankets.
Yeah.
I want those blankets on a steak, man. No. They're having too much of a good time that side in Lesotho.
Guys, Lesotho.
There's no way the only place that gets snow in South Africa is gonna. No. You're rocking Lesotho.
Lesotho. Like, not to echo the words of Donald Trump, but Lesotho. That is not a country that, yes, they have very, very high statistics of sexual violence, and their prisons are probably the most hectic, and we've seen this on documentaries. Yeah. But there we go. In September 1998, while serving as South Africa's acting president, Mangosuthu Buthelezi authorized a military intervention in Lesotho to address the escalating political unrest following disputed elections. So both President Nelson Mandela, this was that far back, 98. So both Nelly M, and
the Nelster,
and what Tibos,
Nelzilla,
okay, and Thabo Mbeki were abroad. So because he was Minister of Home Affairs at the time, he presumed or assumed the role of acting president. But there was a crisis happening in Lesotho. You see, this is the thing. South Africa, we like to make jokes. There was an actual political crisis in Lesotho with allegations of electoral fraud and opposition-led process, etc. and so forth. And then their prime minister asked for South Africa to help. And he was like, you don't have to ask me twice. Here they go.
Yeah, I know. I think it's so wild. Like, the first thing you're going to do in your presidency is like, okay, I want smoke with everybody.
I want
the smoke with everybody.
The smoke, yeah.
I want to wage wars. I want to just go straight at it. But I mean, that's... What would you do in your first day of presidency? Like, what's you only have 24 hours. How long
do I have? 24.
You have 24 hours, but whatever you say that you want will happen immediately.
Okay.
Like, it's not...
And we'll stay that way. Or when Ramaphosa comes back, we go back to the way things are changed. Maybe that's too much specifics.
Yeah.
Okay. I would change the whole schooling system.
Okay.
So I would rebuild schools or renovate schools and make sure that classrooms were up to date, like tech, where people sit, cafeterias, the whole thing. Make sure that there's somewhere green for children to play and that they can do monkey bars and jump up and down and all the things that are supposed to happen. So I'd pump money into that. Secondly, I would pump money into ensuring that everything that comes from the cop shop all the way up to the prisons are fixed. I'm sorry, were you looking for jokes here? Because I'm being serious. We're fixed, right? So how you get hold of the police, how the police handle situations. I mean, you've watched all of these movies, and I know they're movies, but they go, and then they found a footprint, which changed everything. We need that in South Africa, quite frankly.
Yeah.
All the way up to then what happens in the judiciary when people get called into go to court and be prosecuted, da 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 da, and then all the way to jails, because there shouldn't be so many
Yeah.
jails, first of all, and there
Mm.
shouldn't be so many people incarcerated, second of all.
Fair.
So those are the first two I can think of. Maybe I'd transfer some of South Africa's money into my bank account, but I don't think I'd do that. I just don't. I'd send it to your bank account. And no one would know.
Okay.
What would you do?
I'm gonna make sure Table Mountain is no longer one of the national wonders of the world. We're gonna take that away. We're gonna fix that, and we're gonna make Joburg Tower the new national wonder of the world.
Wow.
Cool, Shafere. Then,
And you're gonna say things like "cool shafere."
then as the president, I think it would only be right or only fair if we start rearranging some things.
Okay.
So easily, I think. Firstly, Pretoria can't be the capital of Gauteng. You know, like it needs to be Joburg. It has to be. That's
We
a
have three
given.
capitals in this country.
I
don't know which one is legislatively. I don't know. Someone tell me. But there's one in Bloemfontein, there's Cape Town, and there's Pretoria.
Yeah, so Pretoria, we need to just fix that.
And Bloemfontein?
Bloemfontein, you know what? What's next to Bloem?
Well, not much, because haven't they left to go to America?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm bringing them back. I'm all 49, they're coming back. And and in their place, we're stealing 49 Americans as well. I wanna, and we're going to put them in Soweto, and we're gonna have a nice place wherever the farms that they left, if they had left. 'Cause some of them wanted to become rappers and stuff. They didn't want to become farmers or whatever. So whatever they were doing before, some of them owned mines and stuff. Whatever that was, it's gonna be it's gonna be given to some homeless people in the area.
Okay.
Just random homeless people. Bought a lostro, and
I feel like a Lostro will surprise you.
That's what. No, he's gonna do wonders.
He's gonna do best.
Shebe Shit is gonna be
Yeah.
my deputy president for the time being, so that nobody messes with me. And then, in terms of the Cape Flats, because we gotta figure that thing out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move the Cape Flats to Bolito, and everyone from Bolito to the Cape Flats, and then yeah. This will work.
This will work, no?
This will work.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, I mean, I only had 1 day, so people, it's not fair. Y'all could give me a week at least, and you'll see where we're supposed to. Yeah.
I only had a day, guys.
Guys, you didn't let my genius come into fruition. So I mean,
In 1 day.
ha.
How fair.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That thing about schools is very, very important to me.
1000%. Oh, you know, the thing I think personally, I think we'd have to figure out how to help people with reading.
Yeah, this is the main issue.
Yeah.
So, you know those math sums when they say Kamogelo is driving at 54 kilometers per hour
Like
west,
it's word sum.
and Lesego is coming east. What speed will they collide, or what velocity, or whatever it's called, will they collide? You can't read a word sum if you can't read.
Yes.
You can't figure that out.
Yes.
In geography, you can't figure it out if you can't read. There's nothing you can do if you can't read.
Yes.
And so I was reading about a woman who was in the legal profession, and she really wanted to go into more kind of political law. And her professor asked her one question. She said, why do you think their states, like provinces, would make budget available for prisons in the future? How can they forecast who is going to be in a prison in the future? I was thinking of the other word, because apparently prison is offensive.
Jail? Prison?
Offensive.
Incarceration
rehabilitation,
centers.
something like that.
So they're scared to offend who? The prisoners? Or
I'm
like,
not going there. I don't want to offend anyone. Anyone. So how can you tell if you're making your budget for Gauteng? How can you tell that in X amount of years we better have a whole host of brand new incarcerated?
incarcerated.
Yeah,
Centers.
the facilities.
Incarceration centers.
And the professor said, you look at the third grade reading level. If kids in grade 3 can't read proficiently, can't read for understanding, can't read to solve a problem, can't read, then you know how many people to budget for incarceration.
Oh my days.
Isn't that wild?
You can't read more Polsmos. That's insane.
Wow, that's a good slogan.
Yeah, that's hectic.
I think it's a really good slogan
you know,
for a reading campaign. But there we go. So from grade 3, which is what? I mean, you could be 7. You'd be young if you were 7 in grade 3, but 8, 9, around there, you're in grade 3. No? You've got to be able to read proficiently.
Yes. Whew. Jeez.
How was your reading in grades anything?
It was fine. It was decent. It's what word is that? Decision.
Which one?
The big one.
That is decision.
I'm joking. It's just destiny. Before people start judging me. Yeah. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, no, in terms of my reading, I've never in fact, my reading is the thing that kind of helped me with subjects that I wasn't doing too well at.
Okay.
For example, like Afrikaans, because I was able to put words together and like I was able to like make connect the dots easily, then my reading for Afrikaans helped me with the rest of my marks. Like those were usually my best marks in Afrikaans, which isn't like anything to write home about because Afrikaans marks are really bad. But my reading has never been like a problem. I do struggle to read under pressure though. Like if someone gives me, like I can read the thing easily, but then if there's a bunch of people watching me read, I think the pressure of the watching just makes me shake a bit, but I don't struggle to read.
No, I've never seen you struggle to read. Yeah, you don't even have to ask me the question back. Because
what letter is this?
I think it might be a Kabi.
Kabi.
So there was this girl in, I think it was grade 3. And she said she got extra books in class to read at home. So we'd have our school book and then she'd have an extra book. And I was like, hey, yo, why do you have an extra book? And she was like, because I read better than the majority of this class. And I said, hand me that book. And I looked at it and I was like, better? Yeah? And she goes, yes. If you open to page 4, you'll see this word and you would say, you directly, me, would say magic. But in fact, the word is magic. I was like, now we have begun.
Crazy.
You sit behind me in class because you're taller. You're going to sit behind me in class for the rest of your life. Let's go. And I went to the teacher and I said, and she was like, oh no, it's for the advanced readers. So I went, yes. And so where's my book?
Oh, damn.
And she was like, oh, it just would be so much work for. I said, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
Let's see. If I can't keep up,
what's the harm done?
Then I give you back your book. And she goes, oh, okay, Pablo. Okay. I've always been like that.
And one day later, she gave her back the book. She just couldn't keep up.
I couldn't keep up. It was too much work. But then I read, and I found it to be so offensive that, when was the test done that we
Decided that
who
you.
could read, who couldn't read.
Yeah.
Like, and also, doesn't that say a little bit more about you and your teaching skills?
Yes.
I like everything made me so aggro, especially, and I'll never forget it. You, for example, would read Magic.
Magic.
Oh,
Uh,
Magic.
It's like, yo, dog, don't disrespect me. Don't
I
you ever?
said, let me show you Magic.
Don't you talk down on my family name, son?
Yeah.
Mm.
So, so I can read very quickly. I can read on the spot. I can read. And
Yeah.
growing up, I loved to read books.
Uh-huh.
I love to read Enid Blyton. I
Yeah.
love to read Tom Sawyer. I love to read books. And my favorite book to this day is a book called Valley of the Dolls.
Ish, I love that one.
And and I think I've read it about 5 or 6 times. It's just so good, and I'm always surprised.
What's it about?
It's about these women in the 20s,
I'm done.
30s,
Never mind.
40s,
No.
and they come into LA, and LA's just starting out, and like Hollywood's just starting out.
Okay.
And so if you don't look a certain way, how are you gonna make money in those days? So it's
Gotcha.
about marrying rich and then making sure that you look a certain way.
The Valley of the Dolls.
Yeah. So they call pills dolls.
I got you.
So they've got uppers, downers,
Downers.
things to make you lose your appetite, da 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 da. And eventually, like really hectic health stuff happens to them. And then there's like the love stories as well, loveless marriages. It's so good. Jacqueline Sussman's the author. It's so, so good.
Fire.
Yeah.
I like Chainsaw Man.
What's that?
It's pretty self-explanatory. What are you not understanding yet? It's a
I
man.
can read, but I
that-
might not be very smart.
It's a man that is a chainsaw.
He is a chainsaw.
Yes.
Not he carries around a chainsaw.
No. He's a chainsaw.
Nice.
He just he gets really pissed off. He pulls the trigger here, and then he becomes a chainsaw.
So it's like Wolverine, but with a chainsaw.
No. Don't put extra. Just a man that is a chainsaw.
Anyway, but you
Cool,
read
There's-
manga.
Yeah, no. I think
A manga.
I think the author is Tanjiro Fujimoto.
You can't just make things up.
Yeah, I might be making up his first name, but I know his surname is Fujimoto. And he's made some of like the best mangas that I've ever seen, because the thing is, like, there's a lot of like whimsical science fiction stuff around it. There's demon creatures and like extra stuff around it, but it always gets back to like in deep, interesting concepts of like humanity and specifically loneliness, where the main character, why can't I remember his name now? The main character pretty much like he realizes that like his self-worth, because his entire life he's been treated like a literal animal. So when people ask him what does he want, like in life, like what would he want, and his answers are just like, I would love a decent meal. I'd love to one day just have a decent meal, or maybe just touch a girl for the first time, or just like, it's like his requirements are so like, oh, that's like so sad. And so like and then later on, now we see him having self-worth and realizing the way how he viewed himself and how small he was, and now that he's touched the girl, and he's like, no, actually I hate that. I don't want to. I want someone that I can love and I can
Right,
appreciate.
right.
And he learns that like, oh, my biggest fear is to be lonely again. It's not to die. It's not to not be accomplished.
hurt, yeah.
It's just to be lonely.
That's
So
incredible.
yeah, so like concepts like that are just
Oh
like
my
are
gosh.
insane. That's also why like I think honestly a lot of kids should start getting into manga and anime and stuff really early.
Even proper comic books,
For sure.
like the olden days.
I think the whole reason why I actually started actually getting into reading, well, my one friend Rupert as well, but I started I didn't want to read like that until I saw my friend Rupert bring a comic book to school, and I saw he was reading one, and then I was like, Mom, if you want me to start reading, you need to buy me comic books.
became Chainsaw Man on my poor
and
mother.
then she and the only issue is a lot of comic books do have very adult themes.
Sure.
There's not a lot of comic books or manga that's specifically
For
focused on
kids.
kids. But also there's this argument that I always have in my head is that like these are themes they're gonna learn about eventually. And if you can control how they're learning about these
Sure.
things, rather that. Because yeah.
Yeah. So every literacy expert, every organization that deals with literacy in particular that I speak to, that I interview, says exactly that. Rather just get them into comics, and then that can grow the development of love for, like you're saying, character development, the love for story and narrative. Then eventually they make it into reading novels and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I don't really read a lot of novels.
Novels.
I read a lot of like I nearly said antibiotics. I read a lot of biographies and autobiographies. I love that so much to see how a person, but it's again character development, but this time of a human being. So yeah, the best one I've ever read was the one by Madonna's brother about Madonna. Can't remember the name of it. It's so good. And then the lies that people write about Oprah are sometimes very interesting.
You know, it's also very interesting because a lot of like concepts like that have already been touched over in the manga and anime world.
Manga, guys.
But then Black Swan.
Yes.
When I first saw Black Swan, I struggled to watch it because there were so many parallels of Black Swan and this old show called Perfect Blue.
You're joking.
It's this movie called Perfect Blue where literally frames, like frame by frame shots are exactly copied from there. And the person that made that, it was the whole story is about an idol. Idols in Japan are like the BTS, the Blackpink, the Korean
Those are
pop.
Korean though, but in Japan there's a similar kind of idolization.
Yes. Sorry. Thank you for.
Yeah, I just know we'll get a lot of hate mail.
My fault, y'all.
My bad.
So yeah, with that being said, there's certain themes that like you want to put your kids on, and you were waiting for like a Madonna or Beyonce or like modern pop culture to put them on. It's like those themes have been touched on years ago. It just might not be necessarily the medium that you're used to.
Yeah.
And
I'd argue that there have been books written about these
Yes.
things already as well. So yes, reading is very important. Reading is very good. If you've got someone in your life who's in that 3 or even grade R, like just learning the concepts of the letters and numeracy, it's also important. And we know that as South Africans, and we know that we are trying our best, and we know, but this is always something that like we have to fight very hard to accomplish for our South African kids.
Yeah.
I have a put me on.
Yeah. Put me on, sis.
Put me on. In ages, I haven't had a put me on. Because in ages, I haven't put a TV on. And now I did the other day.
What did you watch?
And I watched a show called Physical 100.
Why did you make those noises?
Because those are noises of like fighting.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you make noises of fighting. I love Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
So, Physical, I'm just getting the info here.
Mm-hmm.
Physical 100 is also an Asian show.
Okay.
And they get 100 of the most physically
fit
to the peak of their fitness women and men.
Mm-hmm.
So you have people who are swimmers, you have people who are MMA fighters or MMA fighters.
MMA.
We've seen other martial artists, then
Bodybuilders.
bodybuilders, like the whole thing. But there's one guy who's like a BTS or yeah, and everyone's like, check out this guy. And then they've got a guy who is a singer, and he's also like really
Ripped.
strangely ripped.
Okay.
And they all have to go through these trials
Yeah.
and challenges, timed trials, like how fast can you run? And it starts with 100, physical 100. Then how fast can you run wipes out 50 contestants. And then the one we were watching was similar to rugby. You've got to keep a medicine ball, those heavy balls.
That's that show. I would remember I walked in midway when you were watching
really?
it. So for the first like 5 minutes, I was like, Squid Games is weird. And it's like, they got judo in Squid Games.
And, yeah.
Like,
and so you're holding a ball, and then your opponent, you can choose a MMA kind of setting, or there's one in water, which I think is nuts to choose the water one. Or there's another one where it's like jungle gym equipment and you have to go up and down, but you have to hold this ball and your opponent cannot get the ball from you. So whatever you need to do, however you need to hold the ball, however you like put yourself physically on the ground, the opponent cannot get the ball from you. And it's like a 3-minute long game.
Crazy.
And can I tell you, I crave it. When I'm at work, when I'm out doing things, I crave watching Physical 100. It is so good. I do think anybody who enjoys peak physicality to look at, and then also to enjoy, being inspired to lift heavier weights at the gym. It's so good. I love it so much. So I think we're on episode of the new season, because there's season 1 and season 2. So we're on episode maybe 3 or 4 of season 2. So we're not so deep, but get in deep with me, please. Physical 100. It's on
Netflix?
I think so.
Okay. Because I only see you ever watch Netflix.
Really?
We got the Amazons and the other ones, but then
I watch Showmax sometimes.
What do you watch on Showmax?
White Lotus.
Is it on Showmax?
Yeah. And you don't think I like Housewives of Things?
No.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. And then we watch a lot of Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Abbott Elementary's on Disney.
Yeah.
Which we just finished, unfortunately. I'm so sad. If you have a recommendation of something similar to Abbott, I would just be so, so grateful.
Aren't people going to tell you like The Office?
But not The Office. And also not...
New Girl?
Not New Girl.
Why?
Because I've watched them all.
Oh,
I've finished them all.
Got you.
Because I want something that's kind of family friendly.
Oh.
And we've gone through Modern Family, the Black Modern Family, Blackish, and then we've gone through the Asian Modern Family.
Fresh off the boat.
Thank you. And
I'm
then
fresh off the boat.
I love that show so much. So yeah, there we go. That's my put me on.
Fire.
Beat that.
There was about 3 things that I just had in mind real quick. Going back to the presidential thing again, I just remembered 3 things I'd change. First, I would bring back the death penalty, because when you said the prisons are getting full, and it's like people need to be scared of jail, like because people aren't scared of jail,
scared of consequences.
Yeah. So and like actual, not like America where like someone will be on death row for 15 years. I mean, like this week you get sentenced, next week you must get robbed.
It's a dangerous, slippery slope. That's conversation.
Morally, I know there's a lot of chats about it, but like the amount of guilty people in comparison to innocent people that get convicted, it's not even even close. So I don't know. That's my personal one. And then the other one is the sports arts and sports arts and culture fund. The amount of money that they get for that. Firstly, sports must be on its own thing. Arts must be on its own thing. Culture must be on its own thing. And the budget that
What about women, children, and people with disabilities?
Can we relax there?
What about that?
Okay, then okay, we'll get there. We'll get there.
You only have one day. Move
I only,
faster.
like, chief.
Explain.
Okay, more wheelchairs, fine. Yeah, for the kids, not for the people with disabilities. Just two.
We're gonna get into so much trouble.
So I'd separate sports, arts, and culture. Arts, culture, and sports, 3 different things. And the budget that we were gonna have for all of them combined, that same budget, must be that budget for each of those things.
Brilliant.
And that money will be obviously taken away from the politician's salary. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. And then the same thing, women, children, and disability. So they put women, children, and disabilities in one thing. Like women and children are as this. Okay, yeah, the same thing that I just said with the arts and culture stuff is what I do with this women.
And the
children,
offense isn't that we're put into a group as women that infantilizes us like children, right?
Mhm.
Or the offense is not that we think lower of people with disabilities,
Mhm.
so we wouldn't want to be in a crew with them. That's not it.
Mhm.
It's about each having very specific, very individualistic,
Yes,
and very
equal.
but urgent
Uh,
current needs.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna just put a blanket over everyone?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, I 100% agree with that, and those are the couple things that I'll change. Definitely, I need to change. But my put me on, going back to my put me on, a new season of Love, Death, Robots is upon us.
How many episodes in this one? Like 4.
Can I be real?
Yeah.
I haven't even watched it yet because it's so fresh. I only saw it that it came out last night.
Really?
And I didn't get to watch it yet.
So good.
I already know it's gonna be good, and even if it's not good, I'm still gonna watch it, and I would implore everybody to watch it because the stories, the animation, there's not enough funding in animation just generally. So anytime there's something even remotely quality, even if you don't want to watch it, just play it in the background because I always want to champion animation.
We should get some South African animators and come and chat with them on air.
Do you know who I'd love to?
I know a few, yeah.
I would love to speak. I know he's not an animator, but a dream interviewer is the man that makes the Kwesi comic books.
Yes.
Oh my days. I'd
Let's
love
get
to
him.
I'd chop it up with him.
What about Super Strikers?
I think he did also draw on Super Strikers as well. And now he's working at DC, I think. So
it won't just be like, can you come over?
no, I'm sure we can make a plan. There's a lot of artists that I dream of like wanting to talk to, but I think there's also just the level of like I have fangirl-y energy where like when I see them, I don't even know how to talk. Do you know a dream guest for me in terms of stand-up would be Lois Okola, for example.
Let's get him on.
But I'm so scared I'm gonna be shy when I'm talking to him, to the point where people are gonna be like, and he looks uncomfortable. And it's like it's because like I admire this guy. Look, I wanted to say look up to him, but I thought that would be offensive.
All right, Laura, you're invited to a brother and a sister podcast. I know that you have a schedule that you have, so we'll hit you up. You tell us this day, that day, we'll make it available. And then that guy from DC, Super Strikers,
Kwesi
Comics.
I'm just forgetting his name now.
We want you to, and we want you to keep watching a brother and a sister podcast in our episodes to come. Thank you, Spotify.
Yes.
Thank you that we can read. Thank you,
Gwede Mantashi, for not blowing up the country in the 5 days while Cyril Ramaphosa was away trying to get his 49 whites back, Afrikaners back, because it's not, and what else?
and thank you, Lord, for
the food we
protecting
eat.
us. Amen.
Amen. Also, thank you to everyone that's going to buy tickets for the 28th of June, because we have a show. Not a brother and a sister,
No,
but
comedy show.
it's a comedy show I'll be hosting.
I'm
It's
not
called
funny at all.
She's extremely funny. Crack Up SA. Crack Up SA is the name. We're going to be having it at Origin Art at Keys Art on Miles. So please pull up. It's going to be dope. We're going to have a couple of, people hopping on. I think by the time this comes out, we'll have announced some of the names, but it'll be Khabani Muloy as host, Titi Trumia as one of the headliners, and I'll announce more as the weeks go forward.
So you can follow him on Khabane_TV.
Yes.
On all your socials.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you will see all the information about it. But yeah, 28th of June.
Is that the only one?
That's the big one that's
The big
coming
one.
up. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, and then Kitchener's every Wednesday,
Yeah.
8 o'clock. If you are available,
In
pull up.
Joburg.
Cool, in Joburg, yes. But come to Crack Up, 28th of June. That's the one.
And follow me at Babi Muloy on all my socials to see what I'm going to do with my hair next. Because I don't know. I haven't decided. And I'm not in the mood for pulling yet.
Why don't you put a vote? Why don't you put a vote on your Instagram?
What I should do with my hair next?
Yeah, it's cornrows, braids, faux locks. I don't know what other hairstyles.
That's a really nice idea. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
And when I said let's, Otlamponsa, how to do it.
When this episode comes out, then it'll
be done.
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you too, dogs.
I love you.
I love you too, my dogs.
I love you.
Love you too, my dogs. Bye.
Love you.
No, we said bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a brother and a sister episode. This is amazing. Thank you guys so much for your time.
He's a stand-up comic.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Ugh, shame. Look at these. What is this person? You're not standing on your own. Somebody's holding you up.